different station. Sorry for the pause. KN4EMK from K4ARX. I did hear you and Doug and maybe a few others have conversation on the RAS machine. Of course, for me, it's a little weak, but I could get pretty much the gist of what was going on. And you sound good over here. I don't know what you're doing now. Don't know if you changed controllers, microphones, radios, so on and so forth, etc. It's good to hear you on.
Yeah, I'm on the base station in the shack, the M7100 Big Boy, and yeah, I'm just out here for the night. I got bugs coming in here, so let me close the shed up a little bit because they're attracted to this light. Hang on.
Are you monitoring your audio with another radio?
Here a couple hours. I did an oil change on the tractor and got that all cleaned up and everything else. It apparently hasn't had an oil change done on it.
Get rid of that message.
4 hours of operation, which is
There we go.
that's been done, and
I can see myself.
yeah, now I was just doing some radio stuff and got the old base station back on the air.
Okay, now there's more of a prominent hum in the background than there is background audio from reception of the repeater there.
It's probably based on the position of this microphone. It is very sensitive to EMF.
Yeah, we're going to have to get on to him about... Oh, not that one. Yeah, EMF. Gotcha. It's just humor. It's just humor.
Yeah, it usually has some ferrite chokes on it, but I took them off because I thought I had eliminated the problem, but it's evident that it's still here, so hallelujah. I get to bust them out again and put them back on the cable. It's just the microphone. It's not actually the radio.
Yeah, it sounds fine. It sounds like it's doing its job, and like I was asking, if it's hearing another radio in the background, it's picking it up too. A little bit of feedback, but that's not an issue. I'm just saying I can notice it, and it is working very good. Is this thing on a Zoom?
Yeah, my CDM is sitting to the left of it, so it's probably picking it up. I actually have that thing on low volume and it still can hear it. This microphone is probably as hot as the HX202.
It probably is, and that's probably why it's doing what it's doing. Again, it's just an observation. It's just fine. Letting you know how it's going on over there. Excuse me. Try not to belch into the radio there. Dinner was good.
Yeah, me and ETF, we tried to do simplex just a little bit ago. He was able to hear me, but I couldn't hear him. I guess he sent me a text. He said his 50 watts won't make the trip, which I think if he had a little bit of elevation on there, he'd actually make it through. Because I have pretty good reception where I'm at, and on simplex I was able to talk to somebody in Gum Spring, which is pretty close to Doswell, and that's pretty far.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure where he is. I forget. He's probably out there, and that's probably true. Was this only on VHF, or did you try also on UHF?
Oh, this station only is capable of VHF, so we stayed on 2 meter, and like I said, it barely. Well, I didn't hear him at all, but he said my signal came through, but barely. He was able to get it. That's, like I said, probably an elevation issue. He's over on Tuckahoe side of things, so it's on the western part of the county.
That's what I thought.
I don't know if he's down in a valley or something, but I think that's a little lower elevation than me. So.
Well, if he said he could hear you, then that's what's important. Work on other things later. I've got a 10-meter radio coming in, hopefully this weekend or beginning of next week, and trying to get folks involved in that. Also trying to get folks involved in 6 meters. whatever mode. I don't care if it's sideband, AM, or FM. FM is just as fine here locally, I think. And just keep it up and going and run as many different modes as possible in your license class.
I guess that makes me as stagnant as a bucket of mop water because I won't stay off of 2 meters to save anyone's life.
I don't know. I think there's plenty of life saving on 2 meters. It's just a thought, and just trying to generate some interest. K4ERX.
It's funny, I rarely ever use this radio.
Yeah, I know.
And,
What's wrong with you?
because I'm using it a lot more, it's getting hot. So now I'm smelling this egregious odor of burning dust from the heat sink as I'm using it, which is hilarious to me. Because this thing will just keep on trucking on like nothing's killing it, right? But meanwhile, there's literally stuff catching on fire behind it.
And I thought I was bad. Clean the rat's nest from behind the radios. Yeah, I could probably relate just a little bit. I try to keep my radios a little more clean. I run the air conditioner kind of cold in here. That kind of helps too. Not directly under a vent, but within range, so cold air blows across the transceivers. And also want to plug in 220, not 220. Well, yeah, eventually 220. Don't get me wrong, it's a good band. I was going to say 2 meter sideband. I want to get that up and going too. There's plenty of them out there. There's plenty I want to get and pick up, and I want to get back into 2 meter sideband eventually. That'll keep you on VHF if you want. Just change modes.
I mean, I got a 10 meter rig sitting on my desk here. Actually, it's this old Galaxy DX2517. It's actually a CB radio, but you can tune it down to get away from me. There's a bug. You can tune it down to those frequencies, and it, right now it's tore apart because I was trying to fix the one of the Rocky Beat switches. And something happened, I don't know why, but I can't get the cover back on the way it's supposed to, so it's all nasty and tore apart right now. So I gotta fix that this weekend. I think I just found myself my project.
Well, you have to understand that you have to remove the golden screwdriver first before you put the case back together. Even the surgeons understand that. Take all your tools out before you sew up the patient. Yeah, those things, they actually start out as 10 meter radios. They go to the CB shop, they convert them to 11, and I guess you're having to convert it back. Not my choice of equipment. I've seen a lot of those. They're fancy dancy and colors and whistles and buzzes and ding dongs and pit pats and whatever, but I stay away from those things. They were kind of fun at first. 20 amp MOSFET change for a a Cobra 29. Those are fun on the highway, but specifically 10 meters if I can. And again, I want to transition over into 6 just for the ability and some of the fun. I'm sure we can do it. It's probably going to be just as easy. It's probably going to be just as easy on 6 as it is on 10 here locally, at least with the vertical.
This was my grandfather's radio. This Galaxy. We used to have old Browning CB. This is like different modules. You had the power supply on its own by its own self, and then you had the transceiver part of it, and then the speaker, which was about as big as the transceiver. So you had all these parts to this one giant stack of CB radio, and he had the oldest static lollipop microphone that he gave to me. When that Browning died, he ended up getting this Galaxy, and I remember as a kid him talking to a friend of his in Alberta, Canada, and I remember as a kid he'd let me get on the radio and talk to that same person. And mind you, this was in Pennsylvania, so we were pretty far away from this other station. I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. So when I got older, he gifted this radio to me, and then got himself something even bigger, an RCI. I forget the model number, but it was basically the same radio, but just much more powerful. And we ended up talking to each other before, once the conditions were right, one night, and I was talking to him on just a little tiny mag mount antenna with that Galaxy, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
Ah, yeah, legacy radio. It's very nice to have things like that passed along in the family from those that care. And there's nothing wrong with having those things. There's nothing wrong with using them. The real trouble is finding somebody to use them with you. It's hard to find people here locally, other those that pass by and talk to you on the radio. Even though a lot of the drivers, they're not using radio anymore, and there's several reasons for that. I won't cover that here because you can find that on YouTube and such. But anyways, nice to have. I've got a couple here that work, and I've got one that I have one that absolutely works fine. I have an Antron 99 and a couple others that needs mounting hardware, but I'm in an apartment, so it's impossible to hang those. I do have a dipole and probably some mag mounts I could use for that, but that would be fine locally. And I also want to do 10 meters FM and 6 meters FM as well. So, you know, trying to cover all those bases again. Sorry to bet a dead horse, or beat a dead horse.
Anybody else want to chime in? It's KN4EMK.
That's why I paused.
Alright, we're going nothing heard. The itch needs to be scratched as far as me getting that Galaxy back on the radio, because it excuse me 1 second, I gotta kill a bug.
Alright, I'm going to take a break and top off this coffee cup. I'll be right back. KN4EMK from K4ARX.
Okay, yeah, I just dealt with the spawn of Satan just now, so I had to put that so it wouldn't procreate in my Radio Shack. So I don't know what bug it was, but it's gone.
It's dead now.
There's a reason I don't come out here, because especially in the springtime, this is what I get: pollen, bugs, mosquitoes, and heat.
One cup of Joe. Be right back. You're welcome. My pleasure. Okay. KN4EMK from K4ARX.
Stand by just one moment.
Standing by. I don't know how I get away with it on the MRA, but for the duration, yeah. Let's see. What else do I need to do whilst I wait? Yeah. Those 4, I knew where those were. Get the other 8. Let's see. Charger number 1, charger number 3, 2, whichever. They're not really numbered. Bum 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 bum. Dun 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 dun. Bonanza. Dun 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 dun. I will mention while you're working over there that Phil and I have been working on, many months ago, we started working on other 11-meter projects. He was doing, I think he was proposing some kind of beacon or something on channel 23, which is also allocated either that channel specifically or channels in between for remote control devices. And I think they allow up to 25 watts on AM. Yeah, anyways, I had invested in some paging devices that used to be marketed through Radio Shack and whatnot. He bought maybe a couple of newer versions. I bought some old ones. And what these do on channel 23 is you can page pagers with a device. Each device can hold up to 8 pagers programmed, page 8 individuals. And as long as you hold the pagers vertical, they'll receive the transmission. It's just a beeper is really all it is. And you can page people around the complex or whatever. Still works pretty good. I found one that actually has 8 pagers that comes with the kit. K4ARX.
Yeah, KN4EMK. I think I've seen the YouTube video that you did.
Yeah.
But it's, I think, solid in my set. Hang on one second.